What's going on, guys? My name is Glenn Twist, and welcome back to the Arkham series. In today's episode, we plan to go through and talk about each of the Batman animated series episodes that might be canon to this series right now at this current event. By the way, I have something to tell you guys. Inferno. This was the Fireflies movie. So, in the Batman animated series, there are many episodes. Starting off, we have The Cat and the Claw, Part 1 and 2. Now, this episode introduces Catwoman, and I think it's the pilot episode. But I do not think that this is a part of the Batman animated or the Arkham series. Because it introduces Catwoman, which I think has already happened. Well, which already happened in Blackgate, basically, is what I'm trying to say. For the next episode, On Leather Wings, this is another one. I don't think it's a part of the Arkham series. Now, before I continue, I just want to make clear, because I'm starting to realize as I'm speaking. So before we go into this, I want to explain to you, I am not an expert in this, but, yeah. So I don't know what can be canon and what isn't, so I'm not an expert. Anyways, next episode, Heart of Ice, not a part of the Arkham series, because we already had Cold Cold Heart, which is the introduction of Mr. Freeze. Feet of Clay, no. Different version of Clayface, different character, basically. It's Never Too Late is the first episode on this list that I think can easily be a part of the Arkham series. It's about a washed up old gangster that is just trying to make amends, or like trying to, beat up Rupert Thorne, which Rupert Thorne is in the Arkham series for sure. That was on one of the whiteboards in the GCPD. Joker's Favor is another that can be a part of the Arkham series, and the order of these episodes can be in whatever order you want. Pretty Poison can, I think, be... No. Pretty Poison, no. Harvey Dent is a part of Pretty Poison. And, yeah. I don't think Pretty Poison is in it. Nothing to Fear introduces Scarecrow. I don't remember how deep they go into Scarecrow as Crane. So some of the things as far as Crane goes might not be canon, but if you want to watch it just to be sure for yourself, like I said, I'm not an expert. Be a Clown can be in the Arkham series. I don't see why not. Appointment in Crime Alley. I would say yes. Watch that one is a vital one for sure. Unless you care about like character changes, because Leslie Tompkins is white. But unless you don't care, if you don't care about that, definitely watch Appointment in Crime Alley. POV. Can't remember what this one is. Oh, yes, okay. This one can be in, I think so. I think this one can be in Arkham series as well. There's some great characters, including Bullock. So, in the animated series, you'll find out that Bullock is basically, this is his show for as far as police go. Because you don't see him in the Arkham series at all, except for origins here and there. So, I think as far as that goes, yeah. Clock King is another one that doesn't interfere with the Arkham series. Unless you talk about the mayor. The mayor could have already been gone in this timeline, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think so. The Last Laugh. I think The Last Laugh's a good one to watch as well. Now, like I say, there can definitely be some interference. Oh yes, The Last Laugh is one that doesn't interfere. Eternal Youth. As far as Poison Ivy goes, I think this one is one that you can add for Poison Ivy. For sure. The next one would be Two-Face. I don't think so, because obviously we have Two-Face's origin story in this game. Fear of Victory is a Scarecrow one. I think there's no interference with that. I'm sure Scarecrow's probably started using his gas in more experimental ways. And this way it's to basically rig his vote for sports teams in Gotham. I've got a Batman in my basement. Like I said, if you care about like changes and things, like Penguin has a more British accent in the animated series. But if you don't care about that, this is a fun one. It's a bit goofy, but if you can get past that, it's pretty fun to watch. It doesn't have too many interferences, and I think it also has the rubber duck for Penguin. Uh, Vendetta. I think this is a Killer Croc one. If I'm mistaken, but I think it's his origin. Let me see. Hang on, maybe not actually. Yes, I think it is Killer Croc's. I have not watched that one in a long time, so I don't know. Maybe? Unless it is Killer Croc's origin story, which obviously Croc is established in this universe. Prophecy of Doom, no interferences there. The Forgotten, no interferences. And this is one I recommend as well, because it shows off, Batman's like empathy towards homeless population. He is at food banks and stuff like that. Disappearances in the Bowery too. That's in the description, which is pretty interesting. I didn't know that the Bowery was a part of the animated series. I know Park Row was, but Mad as a Hatter. That is Mad Hatter's origin story. This is another one I haven't watched in a long time. So if you want to watch it, this one again, unless you care about like changes, Mad Hatter is taller in this universe. Cape and Cowl Conspiracy. Cape and Cowl's Conspiracy I don't think has any deviations as well. Batman really struggles in this one, but obviously he comes out on top. Perchance a Dream is a really good Mad Hatter one I recommend unless you care about him being taller. The Underdwellers doesn't have any conflicts. It's just, some of these are like the Clock King and this guy here. This one shows off his empathy towards like orphans basically, because he has that. Night of the Ninja is interesting. It's an interesting one you should watch. The whole arc of that one is pretty interesting because it shows off his martial arts capabilities. I would not say The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne is one you should watch, because I don't think Hugo Strange should be introduced until later on. Tiger is very interesting. I mean, for Selena, it's pretty interesting. If you want to watch it, that's cool. It's very gothic, like gothic horror type stuff, like Frankenstein, monsters like that. Frankenstein, wolf, creatures like that. You know what I mean? Frankenstein and what's the one? Frick, Wolfman, Vampire, Wolfman, werewolves. Dreams in Darkness is really interesting because there's no direct contraries. It's another Scarecrow one, and there's actually a reference to this episode in Batman Arkham Asylum's. Beware the Grey Ghost. Now this is a tricky one. So Beware the Grey Ghost, there is one like direct, like contradiction. So in this one, it establishes the fact that Bruce Wayne watched watched the Grey Ghost when he was a kid with his dad. Now, in Arkham Shadow, he says he's never watched it to Harvey Dent. Now, my headcanon for that is that, of course, he's just... Because directly after that... Okay, so I'm going to finish the thought before I cut. So, I think that he might have forgotten. And then he remembered it later on. But I think he might have forgotten. He remembered it when he started watching it with Harvey. But I think he forgot because he's just encountered a very traumatic event. And after he says he's never watched it before, he starts crying. So, you know what I mean. It's tough. I think it just blocked it from the memory. I think he's blocked a lot of things from his memory that he did, like really, like things with with his dad and with his parents that he blocked out at that moment. Cat Scratch Fever is I don't know if that one is a good one. I mean, you can, but I think it reintroduces a character that I already said no to. I Am the Night is very good. There's more Park Row in that one, so if you care about Leslie Tompkins being a different skin color, then there's a contradiction. And a lot of struggle. He also shows empathy towards, criminals and stuff like that. So I think it's worth it. Almost Got Him is another fun one to watch. It's just fun because it's the villains coming together at a casino. We're talking about all the times they could have gotten Batman. It's which in this universe, I don't know if any of the criminals would ever come together and talk like that, but hey, maybe. And then also, Poison Ivy mentions that he was with Harvey Dent before. That could be true in the Arkham universe, but as far as we're aware, no, it has never happened. It's a direct reference to another episode in the animated series. So that would be the only contradiction. Moon of the Wolf is another one that you can watch. There's no direct contradictions. It has a werewolf in it. Terror in the Sky is a no man bat stuff. Christmas with Joker is another fun one. Basically, just Joker breaks out on Christmas, causes chaos, and kidnaps Bullock, Commissioner Gordon, and the news lady. I can't remember her name. It's not Vicky Vale. Heart of Steel is fun. You have Barbara Gordon in that one. For the first time, they introduced Barbara Gordon, and she's not Batgirl at any point, but she does kick ass. But, she could still be Batgirl. She just doesn't have her suit on her. That's very, as far as headcanon goes. And this is obviously going to be before Barbara Gordon finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Because there are some Barbara Gordon and Batman moments. If You're Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? That's a Riddler one. You can watch that. I would have to watch it again because I haven't watched it in a long time. But as far as I'm aware, it's just Riddler's introduction, or basically his. So there's no established lore between Batman and Enigma at that point, which would be a contradiction. So watch with caution. Joker's Wild is a fun one. Basically, someone builds a casino in the theme of the Joker, which is wild. His Silicon Soul is a follow-up to Heart of Steel, and both of which can introduce the very technical forward, futuristic Gotham that we will later see. Off Balance introduces a character known as Talia al Ghul and his father. You can watch this one, there is no contradictions, but just know that Bruce and Talia meet up at some point in Batman's career after this, or at some point without this, the establishment of this series makes, because Talia does find out that Bruce's identity, which would be a contradiction if they ever release something later on that involves Talia. And Bruce meeting up. What is Reality is a Riddler one. I would recommend. There's no reason not to watch it. I don't think there's a contradiction too far away from Arkham. If I can't think of any at the moment. There is Robin in some of these episodes. Just keep that in mind. The Laughing Fish is introduced in this series, so I would suggest you watch it just to fill it in. Harley and Ivy, I would say, yeah, watch that one as well. That one's pretty good. It's basically, as Joker does, being abusive to Harley, and then Harley joining up with Poison Ivy, and they become like the queens of crime. Obviously, at some point, Harley gets even more obsessed with Joker, and does not waver from him at all in the slightest, and basically just says Poison Ivy was an old friend, but not much of a friend anymore at some point, because Harley does still call Poison Ivy Red, so that's established in this episode. The Mechanic is pretty hard deviation. We know that Lucius Fox builds all the equipment for Batman, and this one basically just says that there is someone who built the Batmobile specifically, which that can be kind of fun. And also, this one also has Penguin in it. But that could be interesting because imagine he doesn't build. Lucius Fox builds like the more high advanced technology, but then Batman, when he was building his Batmobile in the Batcave before Origins or prior to Origins or during Origins, if you remember, I showed you that. Basically, when that got destroyed by Bane, maybe Batman took the parts and gave it to a professional mechanic, and then the mechanic rebuilt it. I think that could be an interesting, headcanon. The man who killed Batman can be absolutely a part of this. This episode has some of the best moments for the Joker in the whole series. Zatanna could be a part of it because that would introduce Zatanna. We see her posters all over the city. I love this episode, but I don't know if Zatanna, because the version of Zatanna in this series is less powerful than her comic counterpart. But I don't know if that really matters too much. Like I said about the other stuff, she doesn't have to be that powerful here, but she can be. She can grow her powers later on. Robin's Reckoning. This is basically some Tony Zuko stuff. So depending on the lore so far, Robin gets Tony Zuko at some point. We don't know when. So you can add this to the list, but that might change in the future if they make another game with where he hunts down Tony Zuko. And this episode might also start having Dick lean a little bit away from Batman because of, how controlling he is over Dick's life. He might end up wanting to move away a little bit sooner at this point. It might be a push off the cliff a little bit. So this might be one of the last episodes you watch. Birds of a Feather. So this one is about... Is this where Batman goes blind? Hang on. Oh, this one... No, it isn't. This one is... I haven't watched this one in quite a while. I don't remember. Oh, this one's where Bruce Wayne... Or where Penguin dates the reporter lady. Blind as a Bat, the very next episode. I would say, yeah, watch that one. That one's cool. Batman basically has to adapt to the darkness. Day of the Samurai. I would say watch it because it's a follow-up to Night of the Ninja. So neither of these include Ra's al Ghul, and I do not think you should include Ra's al Ghul in the series. See No Evil has no deviations. It is a new villain. Might as well. The Demon's Quest. This one does have Ra's al Ghul. I would say no. Don't watch this one. Read My Lips. Arnold Wesker. Fun. Watch it if you want. Fire from Olympus. This one is a guy who thinks he's Zeus. You should watch it. Shadow of the Bat is where it introduced Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, but she's basically forced into becoming Batgirl. We already know her origin in this. She becomes Batgirl on her own volition, and she saves Gordon from the Killer Moth. In this series, it's a bit different. I would say don't watch this one. She's already established. Mudslide does include Clayface, so Paging the Crime Doctor, go ahead and watch it. It has Rupert Thorne, and I believe Rupert Thorne, a so-called crime doctor, and Leslie Tompkins. So I would watch that as well, because the surgeon and Leslie Tompkins are both friends of Thomas Wayne, who's also a surgeon in his day. The Worrymen, no deviations. It's a newly established character in the animated series. Alright, and now moving on to Season 2, House and Garden. It's basically Poison Ivy on her redemption arc, and Batman doesn't buy it. Sideshow, Killer Croc's in it. It's not his origin story or anything. It's just he's already established. He's just, I've never watched it. I mean, I have watched it, but it's been a long time. Avatar is basically Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul on dates and like exploring crypts together, like Indiana Jones. I don't know if you should watch it, considering Talia al Ghul is not well established yet. It's kind of a shaky avenue, especially when it comes to Ra's al Ghul, because Arkham Batman does not know of the Lazarus Pit until Arkham City. Trial, basically, the Arkham Asylum's criminals put Batman on trial for his crime to them. Harley Quinn. If anything that has Harley Quinn in it, I suggest watching it. The episode Bane, I would say don't watch it, but I haven't seen it ever. I've never watched this one. It basically, I think, establishes Bane, or it helps. It's his origin. Second Chance is basically Two-Face. They're trying to heal Two-Face. I actually haven't watched this one in ages. You might want to watch it, but I think it has flashbacks of his origin story in this series, so I don't know. Riddler's Reform, no reason not to watch that one. All these episodes so far are basically just, well, not all of them, but like Harley Quinn, like the one with Poison Ivy, the one with Harley Quinn, the one with Bane, or the one with Two-Face and Riddler. They're all basically just them on the redemption arc. Baby Doll is a new character. Go ahead and watch it. No reason not to. Baby Doll is basically just someone with a dwarfism, and she plays children in movies. Time Out of Joint is basically just a follow up to the previous Clocking episode. Harley Holiday is a redemption for Harley, but she kind of just messes it up. Make 'em Laugh is funny. It introduces Condiment King to the world. Basically just someone, like, uses mind control on these comedians. Batgirl Returns I have not watched, but I would risk it watching it again to know, because this is where Batgirl is established. So, Lockup introduces the character Locked Up Lyle Bolton. So, I don't know. Bolton is in the Arkham Shadows, so I don't know. Basically, just Lyle Bolton being really, like, a really terrible guard to the criminals. Deep Freeze, another Mr. Freeze episode. I mean, he basically just is busted out of Arkham Asylum, and I don't remember this one. The Terrible Trio introduces new characters. Just basically a trio of rich people, rich peak billionaires who think they're better than everyone, including better than Bruce Wayne, thinking he's like boring and shit. A little do they know, but they just basically steal from poor people. Showdown is a Ra's al Ghul episode. You might want to watch it. I don't remember. I'd have to risk it myself because I don't know if it has. It probably does, but I don't know if it has the Lazarus Pit in it. But Showdown is a great character, like a bounty hunting character that is in the comic books and has been with, like, talked with Amadeus Arkham. So that's pretty interesting. Amadeus Arkham, all the old characters like Amadeus Arkham, Solomon Wayne, Ra's al Ghul, them characters. Catwoman vows revenge against Veronica Vreeland. Catwalk. You can watch Catwalk. It has Arnold Wesker in it. Don't think there's too many. A Bullet for Bullock, I think, would be the last episode you watch. The Lion and the Unicorn, I don't think you should watch. You can watch A Lion and a Unicorn. It's some cool kick-ass Alfred lore in it. He's basically a spy for the government, but he used to be. So yeah, those two, Bullet for Bullock and The Lion and the Unicorn, you can watch, I would say. So yeah, so let me just reaffirm why I'm doing this. So in between Batman Arkham Shadow and Batman Arkham Asylum, there's a huge gap even now. So to fill that gap, I think I still to this day fill it with Arkham, or the animated series episodes, so that take my list and just kind of do a couple of them, or like 4 or 5, and I think you'd be set. You'd be pretty up to date for his career. All the ones that introduce characters and the old ones that have established characters firing back. It's important to fill that gap so it's not just a void. Maybe one day we'll have a complete series, but right now it's not. And people want us to move to different superheroes. I think you can do both. I think you can have different superhero games, like that Wonder Woman game that canceled should not have been canceled. It still pisses me off. Flash games that won't ever come out because of the Flash movie. You can still have these other superheroes for sure. And in fact, they should just do all 3 at once. But I still think that the gap between Arkham Shadow and Arkham Asylum needs to be filled. And I think they should make a trilogy for this Shadow, even if it won't be popular. And then they should make one big one. And then they can go back and they can do what comes after the whole series. So basically, yeah. So this is Batman's prime years. His prime years. He's kicking ass, doing the everyday kicking butt of villains, and this is just what happens in between. This is just the grind. This is just nothing huge happens. It's just the back and forth, back and forth. It's just back and forth between villains and Batman, villain and Batman, villain and Batman, and they're just kicking butt on the streets of Gotham with Robin at his side and Barbara Gordon doing her own thing. This is just a window into what he might have been doing. Do not think that this is all canon, but this is just his grind. This is the grind era. This is when Batman is like, okay, we're gonna just do it like it's a job. Big things happen later, you will see though. And at this point, I will say again, Batman's vocal range has deepened. Rest in peace to the GOAT. But his vocal range deepens and his voice gets hardened, and as the world around dims and gets darker, so too does he. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. The Batman Arkham series the Batman animated series is what I grew up with. I did grow up with it. That and sometimes The Dark Knight was a big part of my childhood as well. Until I got Arkham Asylum. Then when I got Arkham Asylum, I was like, holy shit, Batman is so badass. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed, please press like. See ya. Bye.